My arm is so buff from the amount of cranking I've been doing to the films of this year.
Hello and welcome to Movie of the Year, the only podcast with the science and screaming to determine what is the single greatest movie of any given year. And for the first time in weeks, that intro is not a lie, because tonight, and for one night only, we are trying to figure out what is the single greatest movie of the year 2024. Been a crazy year for movies. We won't talk about other stuff. We don't do that anymore. It was fun, 8 years ago or so, but now it's just about pop culture. I thought it was a great year. I think throughout the course of the night, you guys are going to see that that's true. A great year with some stinkeroos, let's be fair. Some stinkeroos that we might even talk about. But, Caitlin.
Yeah.
You are here. Mm-hmm. Is this your first Best of the Year, Movie of the Year, movie episode?
I actually think it is. I have been working on, getting into the film mindset. I actually don't like when they're called movies, Ryan. I do, refrain from saying
Cinema.
that. I've been classically trained, and so films are the only things that I talk about.
Okay.
And the only thing that I really consume. So I've been saving all of my energy for this moment, and I'm so glad that you've had me here today.
What I love, too, about the way that you say it is that I can tell somehow that you're capitalizing the F in films when you say that word. Let me hear it one more time.
Films.
Yeah, I hear the L, actually.
Capital F, capital L.
Film.
Did you have a good time this year, Caitlin? With movies, specifically.
With movies, yeah, I had a great time. I was in the theater twice, but I did frequent all of the movies on the TV that I could get, and I did purchase more movies this year than any year. Movies for viewing at home.
Do you mean digital, or are you buying straight up fucking Blu-rays, bro?
I wish I was that cool, but no.
You wish you were that cool to be buying Blu-rays.
You think I'm going to take the time to get a disc and put it in a device and then connect that device, select the HDMI, and then put it on the T, press play? No.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
We are...
Not for this film buff.
Film buff. We are spoiled brats as a generation. But thank you so much for being here. Based on the way that the show used to work, which was a bracket chosen by critics, you would be on the music show and the TV shows, and then the movies. You were like, no. And now you're here, and I'm excited.
I broke barriers, and I trained to get here.
Cassie, is this your first movie show?
It is mine as well. I went to film classes. They were held at Chili's Weekly, so I trust them fully.
Chili's Weekly, your favorite magazine?
Yeah. Guys, they got some good stuff. They're talking about the Triple Dipper a little too much each time, but it also deserves...
Hey, they need to get butts in seats. They do what they have to.
They know what is good about them, and it's the Triple Dipper.
Do you think it's weird that every issue of Chili's Weekly contains a coupon for Applebee's?
Do I think that's weird?
Yeah,
or do I think
that's
gift?
weird?
No, I think it's an absolute gift. That means I go to Chili's and then I get a little treatsy and I can treat myself to Applebee's after. That's such a good day, Ryan. Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking.
I'm sorry, Mike. I interrupted with that incredible conversation.
I was just going to say they had a great think piece about the El Presidente margarita in the last issue of Chili's Weekly.
It comes with a little shaker on the side.
Mike, you have been to
Chili's.
as if you have to buy a ticket and ride this ride that is the Movie of the Year podcast. Most, I would say, of the yearly Movie of the Year shows. Is this the worst year you can remember? Like everybody else is saying?
No. Are people saying that? I guess. Do you know what's so fun is being not part of the community in any way, shape, or form? I have not heard that. It does feel like we say that every year. And while 2024 was a dog shit year, personally, historically, nationally, I think cinematically, great year.
Awesome speech, Mike. One last question. What will you be calling the thing we're talking about tonight?
Celluloid.
Celluloid. Because you're looking at your butt right now?
I'm looking at my butt. It's a little cottage cheesy. And I bought so many reel-to-reels to watch on my old-timey projector that I have to... My arm is so buff from the amount of cranking I've been doing to these films.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
I'm so sorry.
The fall guy.
Mike, I'm going to need you to say that clean one more time so we can get that as a drop, please.
My arm is so buff from the amount of cranking I've been doing to the films of this year.
It's crazy
Looking
that
at
you'll
you,
just...
the fall guy. See, it wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean because he jumped
Good
in
job.
there.
It's crazy that Mike will just do that, but then when we turn that into a drop, he'll get pissed every time we use it.
I still don't
'Cause you're
know
a
what
little-
you mean it would drop. I don't know what that means.
It's because you're a little bitch. Also, here's Greg.
Hey, it's Greg. I'm here.
I have such a specific question for you, Greg.
Okay.
How did you see more movies from 2024 than any other year in your life? And could it be more than all other years put together?
I don't think it's more than all other years put together because the year that we're doing on the regular show is 1996, and that might be the year I saw the most movies ever because I would go to Blockbuster and just like take out 4 every weekend.
Blockbuster Video, a video store where you would rent VHSs or DVDs.
Watch
People
Captain
know. They saw
Marvel.
the Netflix show about it.
Check out Captain Marvel. She is in a Blockbuster for part of that. But yeah, I do think this is the most movies I've seen besides that year. And I think it was, as Ryan, you're always saying, and I believe you coined it, there's no bad years at the movies, right?
There's no bad years, just lazy movie watchers.
And I have to say, everything Caitlin said, I repeat unironically because she had a sort of satirical air, but it also
What are you talking
defined
about?
instead of film, I've become a big fan of motion picture.
Oh.
Because I think it really, of all the ones that stuck, I think it is like the least ridiculous. The idea that we went with movie because the
They're
picture
moving.
moves. Let's just go back to motion picture, right? That
And it-
sounds fancy.
It really separates it from pictures that don't move.
Exactly.
This is a motion picture. I love it. I, of course, will be doing talkies tonight. That is
Okay,
what I will
great.
say.
That's a
And
good
Cassie,
one.
did you say what you're going to call them? Porno.
Yeah.
Pornos.
Every movie that has a human.
Challengers.
Everything could be a porno if you have the right mindset.
Hell yeah, brother.
Who's this version
Says-
of Mike? Because we should hang out.
We're all
Says the
cranking
man.
it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys ever wanted to meet Mike's dad, but you just did.
it's Soldier Boy.
Tell me.
We're going to be talking about movies, motion pictures, films, celluloid, and porno tonight in this giant bracket. We have so many movies to talk about to celebrate this wonderful art, the one that we save for last every year because it is a movie podcast. Like, it only seems right. But also, the most important medium and to me, and what used to be the most important medium to the world, no longer is. I would say we got, 6 years left until
Yeah,
it
now-
goes the way of jazz?
Now it's TikToks.
Yeah.
Yeah, now TikToks are the most
I
important
can't wait for the
thing.
TikTok bracket next year. I like the one, not the original sound, but the 18th person who used that sound. That was great.
Mike's one commentary about TikTok. Will Mike
I don't
be-
go on it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've never even heard of it.
I'm demure.
I've never
I'm
even been in the same
mindful.
I've never been in the same room as TikTok.
We'll see if Mike can be better at talking about movies than he is at TikTok. We got a lot of movies sent in by the board,
Okay.
more than we did for any other show. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go to a lightning first round where we are going to cut.
You looked at me so hard when you said that.
It's going to be so quick.
I could feel your gaze fall upon me. So quick, Greg.
Is that because you want me to make a short show, or because you want to talk so much?
That's because I want both of those things.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I'm always like, keep it moving quickly, Ryan, and then I hold forth for 10 minutes.
It's co-host Greg and behind the curtain editor Greg are two very different people.
We are going to go into a lightning round. 16 movies cut in 16 minutes when we come back. Caitlin, you got 1 minute on the clock. Our 32 seed is Twisters.
Okay, so you remember the movie Twister?
Yes.
Imagine if there was two.
Two
And there was-
twisters?
Two
We got
twisters.
twins.
You got twins.
Twinsters.
And not only that, you have an extremely hot Glenn Powell and a Sabrina Carpenter who lasts just a couple minutes in the film.
Wait, Sabrina Carpenter?
Just a single
Not the.
Sabrina Carpenter, not the A.
Because it's Mad Men, right?
I don't know. What's Mad Men?
Yes, but Sabrina Carpenter is also in this movie. There's more than one woman in this film, right?
Sabrina Carpenter's in this movie?
She's
She
part of the
is
first crew.
Briefly.
for literally a second.
But she's so
Look, I didn't
small.
watch this movie.
She
Yeah,
gets
that's why
sucked
the
right up,
twisters
dude.
get her right away.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what happens to the small ones?
Can I
Spoiler.
just say something about the movie Twister? It features twisters.
Uh-huh. There's multiple,
twin
yeah.
twisters.
I know. That's from the movie Twister.
There's even more in this one. There's a fire tornado. There's a scientist character who says sometimes science is bunk and you have to just feel it with your heart. I love that kind of RK bullshit.
Do you guys think that Twisters is a dumb name, and based on this year, it should be called Twister, like Beetlejuice, or Sing Sing?
That's a pretty good idea.
Or Twister
It sounds
Twister
like-
starring Tia and Tamara.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Mike, if Caitlin has a joke, you need to step back and let her make it.
I didn't know she had that joke.
Yeah, right.
I am a film critic. Of course, I had that joke.
Caitlin is going up against challengers. What's your vote?
Crazy. Give me the wieners. It's challengers.
She's going to say that before every vote. Mike?
Voting challengers.
Yeah. Cassie?
Challengers.
Greg?
Challengers.
Challengers moves on.
Give me the wieners, Ryan.
We're going to go back to Caitlin here. Your 17 seed is Inside Out 2. Did you see that movie?
I did actually. I've seen this movie quite a few times, but in little chunks. Who put this on their bracket? Because this was not my favorite Disney film of the year.
Incredible defense. Does anybody
Yeah.
think it was like actually good?
No.
I didn't think it was bad.
It was fine.
It was a good way to show children what anxiety can do to you, and like, here's how you should talk to yourself. But that doesn't make a good movie.
yeah.
I thought that the depiction of anxiety as someone who has a pretty cool anxiety.
Not to brag.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting the way it shows, anxiety is trying to help, but it doesn't know how to. I thought that was interesting, but
Yeah.
as a whole, the movie left me cold, and I think in part it's because the movie was really altered in its message at some point in the process.
Yeah. This was almost prepping for Trump and his love of straight people. And so that's
Yeah.
sort of what happened.
The movie is obeying in advance the way that
Right.
you're supposed
Obeyed
to.
in advance
Yeah.
for sure. It's going up against Nosferatu. Cassie, Inside Out 2 or Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
Greg?
Oh man, Nosferatu. We get to talk about it later.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it moves on, it could be an
Okay,
Inside Out 2
okay.
sweep right here.
Can you imagine?
Caitlin?
Yeah.
What, Nosferatu or Inside Out 2?
Oh, Nosferatu.
Mike?
Show me the dead wieners, Ryan. Nosferatu.
Inside Out 2?
Nosferatu, Inside Out 2.
2 wieners.
All right, Caitlin, you're up again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Your number 25 seed is a movie I have not seen, but I've heard it is one of the worst movies of all time. It's Argyle.
Ryan, I'm not kidding when I say I literally just had to explain this movie. It's like 007, but like if there were no rules and it didn't have to be like real, and that's what makes it so fun.
You
This
think
movie's straight up
007
fun.
is real, and it follows
It has-
rules.
It has so many real constraints that
The
Argyle
Moonraker
does not.
lasers.
But there were laser sharks. No, but Argyle is so much fun. It's like there's just fun, whimsical things about it that makes it more fun than 007 to me. It's action packed. You have Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa. It's a lot of fun. So I stand by my choice of Argyle.
It's not even the
I'm
most
gonna-
fun type of sock.
I'm gonna,
What?
which is jellyfish. I'm gonna pitch a new podcast. It's me and Caitlin going through 007, and me making Caitlin. You have to explain to me what part is real.
I won't be able to tell.
It's going up against La Chimera. Mike, what's your vote?
La Chimera.
Caitlin?
What's La Chimera?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, cool.
Just which
Maybe.
which one do you like
Then
more?
I choose Argyle. Obviously. I don't know my Chimera.
Greg?
La Camera.
Cassie?
La Chimera.
Oh, I was hoping it would come down to me.
Would you have moved Argyle on?
Yeah, dude.
Huge Argyle fan.
Chaos
You
Agent.
would have been in Argyle sweater if that was happening, right? You were sweating it out.
Caitlin, we're going to you.
All right.
Fun pattern.
These are all your bad choices, Caitlin.
I did not choose Inside Out 2. That was not me. I will not stand
It's
by
a
that.
better movie than Argyle, freak.
You're a
You
freak.
You freak. Caitlin, the number 9 seed, which is very high. That means probably multiple people had this movie on the list, but you're going to bat for it, is The Fall Guy.
Oh my God! How? Okay, I don't know how this gets into this little thing, but the Fall Guy is so much
This
fun.
fucking bullshit.
You mean our podcast?
No, this are only the bad ones in this quick round, or all the good ones?
Yeah, all the ones you're being asked to talk about are the bad ones. No. What? Fall Guy is a fun movie.
Fall Guy
The
rules.
Fall Guy is very fun. It's a romance. It's action. There's Ryan Gosling. There's
Dirtbag
aliens.
Gosling, which is the best Gosling.
Yes.
Hell
And
yeah.
it makes fun of itself and the genre so much. It's very fun.
Also, I have to say, the part where he's like, you know what the secret to being a stuntman is? It hurts. It all hurts. I thought that was actually pretty beautiful. I have to say that. And that's also true of like wrestling and true of life in general.
Being a
right?
teacher, a mailman.
It just
like,
all
yeah,
hurts.
it
That's the
sucks.
thing. You just suck it up and you push forward. I thought that was low-key a beautiful message.
And the behind the scenes, like during the credits, because he's a stuntman of a character, and then they both have stuntmen, so there's 4 guys who look the same.
Yes.
Whoa.
Weird brass cowboys.
Cranking it.
No, this is a legit movie.
Yeah.
I like this movie a lot. Unfortunately, it is up against, or maybe fortunately, I don't know what's going to move on. I just chose Caitlin to give us the Fall Guy because it's up against the People's Joker. And so, Mike, I'm going to go to you for a vote.
Oh, I loved the Fall Guy. It's the People's Joker.
Caitlin,
Whoa. It's Fall Guy.
Greg,
I love the Fall Guy. It's the people's joke.
Cassie.
It's the People's Joker.
But Fall Guy, you got talked about tonight, and what is better than that?
And it's good. If you want to have a fun night at the movies, I
Yes.
guarantee. And if you like Ryan Gosling at all, even a little bit, it's a good movie to
It's
watch.
so charming.
Greg, the fucking movie you got to talk about now is a real pain.
A Real Pain. Okay, this is Jesse Eisenberg written and directed, starring himself and Kieran Culkin. And they are on a trip back to Poland. It's like, contemporary American guys. They're a trip back to Poland because they are of Jewish descent and their grandmother lived in Poland and was like forced out by the Nazis. And they're going through Poland to try to like wrestle with their heritage and what happened to their lives and what their grandma went through, and they also want to go visit their grandma's house. And really what they're navigating is their complicated relationship because they're cousins, but they are almost a little bit more like brothers. It's beautiful. It's about what pain's role is in a life and what we do when we turn our back on pain because it's messy and because we don't know how to fit it into the context of our lives, and how sometimes what you need to do is feel the things that hurt because they are also trying to instruct us and to help us to grow.
There's almost no more of a slam dunk Oscar winner. We're recording this before the Oscars than Kieran Culkin for Best Supporting Actor. It's probably the safest bet of the entire night. He is a real pain. Like
He is.
You have to sit there and watch him. But
He has mental issues, and it really on screen it reads as someone who actually has mental issues, which is that it's not always dramatic and interesting. Sometimes it's just very grating and annoying in a genuine way.
Do you know what drove me crazy about him the most? And I'm so glad that the 5 of us have sort of like moved forward in our lives and eliminated anybody like this from our friend group. Is every time he says something or you say something, he hangs on you and punches you and
Yes,
slaps
dude.
you. I
Yes.
fucking can't deal with those dudes anymore.
Yeah, he's very
he
hard
likes
to
when they
deal
do
with.
it.
He's genuine and beautiful and very, very hard to deal with.
But the fact that it's all from Eisenberg's character's perspective, where he is tough, but he's a star. And, Jesse is so jealous of him and everybody connects to him immediately, where it's so hard for Jesse to connect to anybody. I'm going to say this a lot tonight when we get into all of the rest of the movies, but like my top 10, a lot of my top 10 or the movies that I suggested for the bracket they don't make them like they used to. So
Yeah.
if they do, it really hit me.
Yeah.
And this is so 90s Miramax, Sundance, let's talk and walk,
Yes.
It is going up against My Old Ass. Cassie, you got to vote.
My old ass.
Greg?
Oh man, I wish we could have talked a little. But I'm going with A Real Pain.
Caitlin?
My old ass.
Mike?
Do you know what's a real pain? My old ass.
I need you to vote, though.
Is that confusing? It's my old ass.
All right, next up. Let's go to... Oh, I don't know what to do here. So I'm going to go to Greg
Okay.
to talk about Conclave.
Okay, Conclave is about all the bishops in the world coming together to pick the new pope. And there are these factions which exist in the modern Catholic Church between the more conservative and more liberal elements of it. And it's all this like basically courtly intrigue. They box up these bad bitches all together and they are like sniping at each other, and they're so smart and so mean. The dialogue is kind of like almost like Succession.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is both like debilitatingly mean and also just like so like appreciatively
the
clever.
cattiest old.
Just
Yeah.
HBO show in dialogue in the best way possible of like elevated soap opera.
It's just a bunch of old queens hanging out
Yes.
and being like, none of us is gay, right?
Stanley Tucci, Rafe Fiennes, John Lithgow. Come on.
But it's very interesting. The end is the thing you would most want to talk about, and I don't want to say anything about that because it's interesting and it needs to be experienced by people individually. But I think the movie as a whole is the star, and the end is just an interesting element of it.
Another one, Make Them Like They Used To, where 10 actors and you just
Yeah.
let them cook for 2 hours. Cassie,
Yeah.
Conclave versus Wicked.
Oh man. Wicked.
Greg,
Okay, I feel like I understand what's happening here. Conclave.
Caitlin,
Wicked.
Mike.
It might not be popular. I don't know how that song goes, but Conclave.
Popular.
Thank you. I didn't want to try to hit that note, and you did it beautifully.
Thank
You
I
were
know I
right
can.
there.
And the fact that
I hit it.
the fact that we got to witness Caitlin going through puberty right there was amazing. Conclave's going to move on, so I'm going to give Cassie and Caitlin a chance to talk about Wicked for a minute.
Well, you guys know the story of Wicked. What if they brought it to the screen and it was pretty and, and you got to watch it and they broke it up into 2 parts, controversial, but here for it.
Cassie did not see the Wicked movie or any movie.
I gotta say,
Cassie just
You all
landed.
know it. It's on screens now.
we've heard about it.
There was color and lights, music and sound.
I feel like Wicked was Ariana Grande doing her best impression of Christian Chenoweth, and
Yes.
that was exciting to see. I think it was great. It was fun, but
What's the name of the actress who plays Elphaba?
Cynthia
Cynthia
Erivo.
Yeah, because she definitely steals the movie. I think
yeah.
she is reason enough to go see this 2-hour and 40-minute part
I
one.
totally disagree.
you like Ariana better?
I think she's kind of boring, and Ariana is
Really?
amazing.
Ariana's good, but it's just she's copying somebody else's performance.
Exactly.
where-
I'm with Greg.
Yeah.
I saw Anna Gasteyer doing Elphaba. a long
In
time
person?
ago. That was great. In person.
That's
IRL.
awesome.
Oh.
On stage, or she
Sick.
was just walking around?
She's just walking
doing
by,
like-
quoting it. I was like,
Chinese
oh
theater.
man, she lost it after SNL.
Conclave moves on. Let's go with Mike. It's Furiosa.
Look, I'm not going to talk about Love Island.
Furiosa UK was crazy.
The more you went, this will be Fury Road, the further away from Fury Road is, the more angry I will be. You're not going to like it. If you go, I am here for whatever George Miller has to feed me, and I will watch your complicated, messy movie about what stories are. Fuck yeah, man. And it's charismatic, great actors I like doing cool things. I just always want to live in his worlds. Specifically
wanna
his
live
Mad
in
Max
this
world.
world?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
dude.
want to live there.
I walked out of this.
I must have
movie
that
and I was like,
gasoline.
I want
like, this didn't need
gasoline.
to happen.
Water makes you weak. I want to wear spikes.
It doesn't have to be this
No,
way.
I honestly think Caitlyn could win a seat in office.
Yeah.
If her whole thing was like, Furiosa does not need to happen.
We don't need to do Furiosa. Elect me mayor of Bullet Town.
But yeah, I think it's gorgeous to look at. The action that is there is fucking sick because that's what this guy does. But also the non-action, because it's not just a 2-hour chase, is also great. And there's purposes to what he's doing here.
Especially when the people ate other people. That was really purposeful.
I'm already starting.
Is that why your leg's gone?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not going to eat other people. I'm not
No.
a monster.
Mike loves the smell of Mike and the taste of Mike. It is going up against what I would say is maybe the best movie of this century, the 2000s. So, Cassie, we'll start with you. Furiosa or Nickel Boys?
Okay.
Oh,
Be careful.
No, it's time to get serious,
Think.
this
Cassie.
is real.
This is real.
right now.
What if it was like, I don't know, Quarter Boys or something?
No, that'd
Have
be
you
worse.
considered that?
Could be 20% better.
Nickel Boys.
Whew, Craig.
Yeah. Nickel Boys is amazing, and we're lucky to have a chance to talk about it.
Caitlin,
Nickel Boys.
Mike.
It's how you remind me. It's Nickel Boys.
That's so rude. What a rude thing to say.
No, he's comparing his two favorite things, his favorite movie and his favorite band, with each other. Let's go to me.
Let's join me live now in progress.
Yeah, what dumb shit did you like this year, bitch?
The 21st seed is a Romanian movie called Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World. This is a 2-hour and 40-minute comedy about a woman who is getting tired of driving around town, interviewing people to be in safety videos, and claiming that the company that they work for is very safe, even though it definitely is not. She is getting tired of her job. She's getting run down about what 2024 is like. And so she spends all of her free time talking into her phone, but she has like a filter on that makes her look like Andrew Tate as she spews terrible misogynistic shit to all of her listeners. I could not believe how fast this movie flew. I cannot believe how topical every aspect of it was. How funny it was. 2.5 hours is a little daunting for a Romanian movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I like Romanian movies that are like 15, 20-minute stops. This was...
I mean, Nosferatu was a Romanian movie.
Yeah.
It was about 240, right?
And I was nervous. Like, this is going to remain on my screen for way too long. But I cannot believe how incredible and incredibly shocking this movie was. But it is going up against The Bike Riders. So, Mike, we need to vote. The Bike Riders or Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World.
I have to go The Bike Riders for personal reasons.
What the fuck are those?
I don't know.
Cranking it.
Have you seen them? They're pretty.
Caitlin?
The Bike Riders.
Greg?
Bike Riders.
And Cassie.
Bike Riders.
Wow, fuck you, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for you guys
sounds-
to keep talking throughout the rest of the show about a movie that you have not seen, but...
You can't get to... Like, I can't believe how many movies they put out in just 1 year, Ryan.
Do you want to know something sick and perverted? Guys, I'm not done watching 2024 movies. Normally, I'm like, I'm never done. I'm still going to keep doing this because I need to get to more.
You sicko.
Maybe it's a good time to say
Keep
this.
watching those movies.
Oh, we're done. The show's done.
Much earlier than usual.
And Caitlin, I think it's keep watching those films. So,
I was trying to speak your language, but
we should say right now that The Brutalist just didn't happen. We weren't able to see it. It's not one of the 32, and we're sorry.
We couldn't get there. I'm sorry. There's too many. And
I
that's like
requested
2
off of
movies
work,
worth
and they
of
said
movie.
no. They said you can't take off work to go see a movie, Mike.
They're
Not again.
Brutalist.
Yeah. Did you say brutal?
Brutal.
Yes.
Brutal. Mike, a movie that did make the bracket, that was Monkey Man. Go.
Oh, Monkey Man is fucking sick. It's Dev Patel doing his version of John Wick, and you'll let him know because in the first 15 minutes, one of the characters was like, "Yeah, this is that John Wick shit," as he hands him a gun.
Yep.
For a directorial debut and a "Hey guys, I'm hot now" debut, good job, Dev. Good job, all of it. And it's just the kind of fun, dumb, fast action that I'm such an addict for, but also learning. Look, I know it's like a fantasy movie, but like there's a few movies this year that taught me a lot about the country of India, and it might be a fucked up place, you guys, just like they all are. That's kind of the key. All countries suck, all nations, all power structures suck, and the way he fights against it is sick.
What are you, a place? You're probably fucked up.
Yep.
I did like this movie a lot. Or there's a lot to like in it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like, I definitely want to see Dev Patel's second directed movie. I think that it's crazy talk to say I'm going to the first movie that I direct. I will also star in. Like you are, that's a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
But I was listening to some podcast the other day that reminded me of why he may have done this, and
Because he's so handsome.
sure,
He's
I mean
very-
that's why handsome people do everything. That's why we're doing this.
He wants a
tonight.
montage of him sweating, hitting bags, while people whoop.
I think what happened over the last 5 years is that he heard when Daniel Craig was leaving that he would make a good James Bond, and he knows he's not going to get it because of the color of his skin. And so he was like, fuck you then. I'll go do it myself.
Yeah.
Mike, it's going up against Nora. What's your vote?
Oh.
Nora.
Caitlin?
Anora.
Greg?
Monkey Man also like secretly cool trans pause movie, which I
Yeah.
thought was nice. getting a lot of like good trans representation this year. But Honora.
Cassie.
Honora.
This is a Caitlin versus Cassie battle. Who's going first?
My favorite kind.
One of these movies will move on. So in this corner is Cassie with Babes.
Babes is such a fun time. It's it's a very more realistic but still funny look at being pregnant and what it's like to have kids and then also raise kids and the toll it takes. But it's also so beautiful with Alana Glazer. Like, she decides to carry this baby from a person she met who ended up passing. And, like, just seeing her as, like, starts off as a mess and just, like, become this mom, it's a very fun time. It's a beautiful little movie.
And it's Michelle Buteau's
Yeah. And she's so good in it, and it's about how family is just the people around you that love you and support you, and that's what's important.
The family
And if you have kids, it'll fix your problems.
Yeah.
And if you can't have a kid, find a dead woman and take their baby. Is that what happens?
Lord knows I've tried.
No, she gets pregnant. She has like a great one night with a guy, and then he dies.
And then
He dies. Okay.
Yeah.
She
He
decides,
ghosted her literally.
and she carries the baby with her buddy Michelle Buteau.
Caitlin, in this corner, it's The Idea of You.
Oh my God, how dare you put these two against each other? The Idea of You is with Anne Hathaway. She is a 40-year-old. She is a mother, and she falls in love with a
Harry Styles.
Yeah. Basically a Harry Styles. A boy in a boy band. He's 24 years old. He is legal. And
Worrisome that you have to
24
say
is not legal for guys.
But Anne Hathaway is not. She aged out of being legal. So
she is beyond legal. And it's their story of, like, they have to, like, sneak around at the beginning, obviously, because she doesn't want her daughter knowing that she's dating her, like, crush of someone who she has a poster in her room.
that she'd probably crank to.
She Soulja Boy'd that hoe. So
No, she liked one of the other boy bands. They clear that up. One of the other members was her crush, so she never.
So this movie's a coward.
Yeah.
But it's. Oh, go ahead.
It's Anne Hathaway being hot as fuck
Oh
for
my
2
God.
hours. It's
Guys, I
so-
gotta take off. I got something else to do right now.
Is it cranking, Mike? It's
It's cracking it.
it's another one of those movies that was like, I watch a lot of what she does. I still think that she's cool, even though people find her cringy. But it's like, why did she pick this? And then it's another one of those movies of like, we don't make these anymore. She's gorgeous the entire time. And when you put a great, like a superior actor in a, B film, genre film, a rom-com or romedy, it elevates it so much more than you would know.
Yeah, it's just a fun time to watch too. Like, you're seeing her do a movie that she just wanted to do because, and it's just a good time.
And
I do like the guy that they chose as the actor. I've seen, like, basically all of his shows too for the Harry Styles boy. I can't think of his name, but he was in Red, White, and what is that movie called, Cassie?
Royal Blue, that gay
Yes,
one.
yes. Red, White, and Royal Blue.
It is going, or they're going up against each other. It's Babes versus The Idea of You. We'll start with Mike.
The Idea of You.
Caitlin.
Fuck. Come to me last. Go to Greg first.
Greg.
Babes.
Cassie.
Babes.
I'm going with The Idea of You. So, Caitlin, it is 2-2, and what you decide is what moves on.
How dare you?
You literally said go to me last.
Yeah.
I know, but why
How
did
dare you do what
answer?
I say?
I guess Babes.
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 Babes, you're in the Sweet 16. Coming up next, Cassie, it's Dee Dee.
Oh, Dee Dee is such a
Dee.
precious little movie. It's a coming-of-age movie, but it's like one of the most realistic ones I've ever seen. And I don't know if it's just because it's very close to, like, my childhood. It's this Asian...
It's close to my childhood, but keep going. When does it take place? Do you remember?
It felt like earlier 2000s, like 90s.
Yeah,
maybe?
the 90s. That's me. Don't stick
That's
your
me.
claim
I'm
in my...
also 90s culture over here.
You had never heard of the show Married with Children.
You said it from the 70s.
It could be. Who knows? But
Ideologically, it kind of was.
if you think about it, boom. It's just this kid trying to figure out who he is and also make friends, but he's also he's like one of the few Chinese kids there, so he's dealing with that. But also, you just see him not know how to be a person, not know how to make friends, and he like wants to learn how to skate. He like tries to learn how to skate, and he gets with the skate crew who would have accepted him with open arms, but he messes it up by lying, and you're just like, you're an idiot. But yeah, that's what you are as a teen.
The
like,
whole
Yes.
like my house is ethnic and that's embarrassing to me, and so I'm trying to cover it up with these white kids who don't care. Which that part
Yeah.
was a little fantastical.
yeah, that
In
part.
real life, they would care, but
In the 90s?
it reminded me a lot of Jonah Hill's movie. Not just because the title was mid 90s, but like we're so in the nitty gritty of the era that we're in, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not the whole thing of like, oh, I have to go buy Doc Martens because MTV is coming out soon.
Yeah,
Pop-up
no-
video.
None of that.
Just very natural. And the mom, I want to say it's Joan Chen. Incredible performance.
So good. Yeah, you see her just try to hold the family together as like the husband isn't like that involved, and like she's just trying to connect to the kids, but the only way she has is like her culture. He's going completely opposite. Like he wants to like the skater thing. Like she has no idea how
She
to
does not
connect.
skate.
She does not
When
skate.
it comes to skate or die, she chose die.
She can't cry stare to save her life.
It's the perfect living situation for the mom because she's basically a single parent with 2 kids and has her mother-in-law
Yeah.
living in the house. So
Oh.
that's fun.
Judging her all the time.
Everything she does.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is Cassie going up against I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
I saw the TV glow.
Did you?
Yeah.
Let's start with Mike. Dee Dee or I Saw the TV Glow?
I saw the TV glow.
Caitlin?
Dee Dee.
Greg?
I saw the TV glow.
Cassie?
I saw the TV glow.
Dee Dee is wonderful. Unlike so many movies we've talked about in this segment, please check it out as soon as possible. Coming up next, it is Greg talking about Evil Does Not Exist.
Okay, Evil Does Not Exist is a Japanese movie by the director who did Drive My Car.
Movie of the Year winner.
Movie of the Year winner, Drive My Car. And if you thought Drive My Car was kind of slow cinema, get ready.
This is called Stop My Car.
Get ready. It's about like a company that wants to come and start like developing land in a rural Japanese area. And the people there are like, well, we're not so sure about this. And it's kind of happening against their will.
And it's not just like, it's glamping. Like, it's so
Yeah.
forced, like, luxury.
It's
you
like
know?
the luxury economy, which is the only part of the economy that's really growing at all because the hyper rich are getting even richer. And it's about this town like doing everything they can to oppose it.
And what are the limits of that, you know? Because
Yeah.
like, so many movies are like, no, we'll lead a team and pitchforks. And like the limits are like, you sit in a room and you cross your fingers.
Yeah, they go to a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
And the meetings, just like in a very calm, civil way, their demands are just like brushed aside. But there's this kind of like doom feeling throughout the movie. And you're like, I know something bad is going to happen here. And it takes a long time, but something
Like-
bad happens.
Ultimately, I think that was my biggest issue with the movie. Like, I love Drive My Car and could just not get on this movie's wavelength.
Yeah, it was like he's pressing you. Like
Oh, yeah.
he is trying to fly in the face. He is saying like big budget movies are the glamping that I am making fun of in this movie.
Right.
And you can't just have a real quiet experience, can you? And then again, I don't want to talk about the ending, but the ending is in stark contrast to that, and it's not. But I do feel like it's not unexpected. There's just this impending doom feeling throughout the movie, and eventually you find out that you're right.
And part of that is because nothing happens, and so you expect eventually something will happen.
Something's gonna
Yeah.
happen because you're like,
At
I know
some
things
point.
happen in movies. There's no way he's gonna go the entire runtime of the movie with literally nothing happening, with just people going to meetings and stuff like that. And eventually you're like, I was correct. Something happens.
It's going up against a movie that has similar feelings as far as the ending goes, but we might talk about that later. It's going up against Rose Glass's Love Lies Bleeding. So, Mike, we'll start with you. Love Lies Bleeding or Evil Does Not Exist?
Evil does not exist.
Caitlin?
Come to me later.
Later. She didn't even say last this time.
Just
Yeah.
some other time, please.
Greg?
Evil does not exist.
Oh, boy. Cassie?
Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, I am definitely Love Lies Bleeding. And Caitlin, you are up to decide.
Yep, love bleeding.
Very confidently asserted.
That moves on. Cassie, you got 1 minute. It's Mean Girls time.
Let's go, guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
The worst movie
I
mentioned.
am Regina
Did we-
George.
Did we remember this came out this year? Did we have to look at a list? Absolutely. But I had a good time watching this.
I fucking love this. Why do people hate this movie?
Here's
think
why.
because- Do they
hate this
Here's
movie?
why.
Yeah.
The songs, some of them were very fun, but anything that made the original Mean Girls the unique weirdness, they had to cut out to make room for songs, and so it was
Mike hates musicals.
jokes that were playing. No, some of the songs ruled, but the jokes were either I've heard that, or undercut and weird and vanillified. And so any of the strange uniqueness that was made the original Mean Girls so great was just gone.
What was Tina Fey's role in this?
She helped write the play.
Right.
She's still a teacher, and
So
she's
she is?
married to the principal.
Does Tim Meadows have a broken arm?
Yeah,
He
he still has a broken arm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
When will that shit heal?
He keeps breaking
Drink
it.
milk, then.
But
And
yeah,
by Tim Meadows, I mean pop filter, not Hall of Famer Tim Meadows.
You
I
don't
should
have
point
to
that-
specify that he's not in the Hall of Fame every time we talk about him.
But I think they feel like it's hard to watch when you like loved the original because you hold on to so much of it, and there's like deja vu moments where it's like almost what you have, but it's new. But I think as a new take on it, to update it was a fun time, and
I agree.
everyone, all great actresses. Like I thought it was a great one.
Okay, it's going up against, and Cassie, we're going to you. All We Can Imagine Is Light.
All We Can Imagine Is Light is.
Your vote?
Oh, I don't got to talk about it. Thank God.
I was like, damn, is she going to like spit on this? It's going to be cool.
All We Can Imagine Is Light had none of the songs for Mean Girls.
There was no Renee rap. I can tell you that.
It's like modern day Mumbai. Let me set the scene.
It's Mean Girls for me.
Greg?
All We Imagine Is Light by 1 trillion billion. But I did like Mean Girls, and I like the new Regina George. She's cool.
That's Renee Rapp.
Renee Rapp, yeah.
Star in the making.
Yes.
Caitlin, what do we think here?
Mean Girls.
Oh my.
There's some Mean Girls in All I Imagine Is Light. I promise you, several of them are quite rude.
Also, Mike just said it's one of the worst movies he's ever seen.
Yeah, but look
And he's,
Look
but
at that
then somebody
smile,
said,
though.
but then somebody said Renee Rupp, and it
I
completely
know.
changed his mind. Look at him. He's cranking it.
All We Imagine Is Light.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were going to pull a France and not send that one in, huh, Ryan?
Don't get it, Greg. Your next one.
Because this could have been France's submission to the Academy, or it could have been India's submission
Or
to the
India's,
Academy.
yeah.
They
But
both.
Amelia fucking Perez was
whiffed it.
France's submission.
We are not talking about The Brutalist tonight because none of us saw it. We're not talking about Amelia Perez tonight, even though
None
all
of us
saw
liked
it.
it. Yeah.
sounds about right.
Okay, so it was a Caitlin Cassie before. Now it's a Ryan Greg.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Do you want me to go
jeez.
first?
Talk about Mean Girls.
Sure.
Perfect.
Back to me, girl.
Perfect Days is the story of a guy in Tokyo who cleans bathrooms, period. That's the end of it. It shows him waking up. It shows him going to clean those bathrooms. It has literally nothing happen. He has a collection of tapes, and he listens to some of those tapes in his van. It is directed by Vim Paris, Texas Vendors.
Oh my gosh, this is a Vim Vendors?
It's a Vim Vendors. It's a vendor machine. And I cannot believe how locked into this just procedural bathroom cleaning movie I was. He has a coworker who's young and kind of dumb, probably full of dumb, and so he has to deal with that. And then he has a niece that comes, and visits him. And both of those characters make it seem like, oh, they're going to turn this old man around and make
Something's
him...
gonna happen
Yeah.
in this movie.
Absolutely not. He ends the movie saying, you guys have your good life because I already got mine. Just cleaning fucking bathrooms. And guys, Tokyo bathrooms, nuts. The widest array of architecture from like the shitty bathrooms that we have here, but also just you step into a robot to piss and the robot just like auto cleans. Perfect Days was amazing. Greg, it's going up against Green Border.
Okay. Green Border, I think, is an important movie for the modern era. It is about immigration, specifically from Syria. Hungary did this really weird thing where it pretended like it was going to take in refugees and then that they had a deal where you could send them to Poland. And then when people started coming, they were like, "Psych, that's not a real thing."
Prank.
And all these refugees got trapped in between. And the green border is this green border in between two countries. And basically, it's two countries throwing refugees at each other and screaming at them like, "Never come back." And it's about the people trying to live in this that got tricked into the situation because they leave Syria thinking that there's like some sort of arrangement where they can like just like travel from place to place and eventually end up somewhere that will accept them. And it's about the high cost of all of that and how the fact that like this is kind of like the future of international politics is countries throwing immigrants at each other. And it's interesting because it happened within our own domestic politics where states like Texas and Florida just like sent people in buses under like false pretenses, and that destabilized the country and that helped the Republicans actually win. And so it's like this
Americans thought it was funny.
Yeah, and I mean it made like New Yorkers and Chicagoans like really worried about immigration because they didn't like to see all these people suffering on their streets or like using services that normally would not be used by this amount of people. Like the cities could not take them. And that's exactly what's going on in the geopolitical scale in this movie Green Border. But then it's the story of just these people. It's just a family that's like trying to get to a place they thought they had permission to go to and absolutely disintegrating. And just like all of the peripheral harm that this type of situation introduces into the world. It is a brutal watch. It is so hard. It's like come and see difficult. But I still recommend people see it at least one time.
Cassie, Green Border or Perfect Days?
Oh, man. I'll go with Green Border.
Greg?
Green Border.
Caitlin?
Tokyo Bathroom.
Mike?
Let's make it interesting. Tokyo Bathroom. I know it's called Perfect Days.
My pick is going to move on.
I forgot about that part.
I would say in Green Border, too much stuff happens.
I guess I'm going to go right now. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself a minute. But here we go. Hundreds of Beavers is one of the most inspirational, life-changing movies I have ever seen in my life. It is on the outs right now. It is probably going to get kicked out. That's crazy to me. Please, if you ever have a chance to watch Hundreds of Beavers, if you have spent your life, like I have, just learning the physics and science of Looney Tunes, and not just that, but also video games. I mean, the way that video games are used in this movie is not front and center like Looney Tunes is. It's sort of just like, no, this is just how this generation thinks. Exactly, yeah. And so you can see when menus pop up, you know, it's a Zelda game, and you move your cursor. He mentally moves his cursor over to what he wants to select at the store. In the meantime, I should probably explain, it's a black and white movie that takes place in like the 1890s where this beaver hunter has to kill a couple, but there's hundreds and they outsmart him. The beavers are not played by real beavers or CGI. There are
people in costumes.
There's just people in like very crappy Disneyland mascot costumes.
Honestly, most of the movie he's fighting rabbits.
Yeah.
The Hundreds of Beavers thing kind of pops up towards the end, really.
I'm just talking about like the first 30 to 45 minutes. From there, we have a court movie. We have a factory movie. We have a spaceship movie.
It's like a critique of capitalism.
Yes.
It's essentially a silent film. It's one of like 4 different silent films that came out this year, or dialogueless films.
It is going up against Hitman. So, Mike, I'll start with you. Hitman or Hundreds of Beavers?
Hitman.
Kaylin?
Hitman is the one with Glenn Powell.
Yes.
Right?
Richard Linklater.
That's on my list. Yeah. We're going to go with Hitman.
Greg?
Hundreds of Beavers, for sure.
Hundreds of Beavers was a lot of fun, though, Ryan. I did watch that, and it was not what I was expecting. Actually, I didn't expect anything, but it was not what I could have ever expected.
There's no way anybody could have. It was basically what I thought.
That was like I expected, yeah. Cassie?
Hundreds of Beavers.
Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
Holy shit.
You have the power, Ryan.
Mike, you got a minute, bro. Talk about Hitman.
Look, Hitman, Glenn Powell was in
He did the
one good movie this summer. Love Linklater. He's back with his boy from Everybody Wants Some. Glenn Powell plays a guy who helps out cops and then he has to end up being the guy who pretends to be a hitman. And it's basically, what's that Catherine Zeta-Jones movie? What's that legal thing?
Pretty Woman?
Entrapment. It's
Butts
entrapment.
Under the Laser?
It's entrapment.
Entrapment.
Yes, it butts under laser. It's entrapment. but people who are like, I want to kill somebody, and he pretends, but he's so many layers deep of characters, and then he falls in love with one of his marks, and then it's just this very funny dark comedy, and it's Linklater. It's very like, I spiritually feels similar to Bernie. That was Linklater, right?
Definitely Bernie, but also like the movies that we grew up with
Yes.
again. Like it's high concept to the point where like if you don't believe it,
Right.
then if you don't buy in, then you're gonna hate it. But like it's a comedy, but with no jokes.
Right.
It just feels like one.
Uh-huh.
And also, guys, sexy as fuck. Those two on
They're
screen. My
so
goodness.
sexy together. The most fantastical thing about it is like, imagine a world where nobody realizes Glenn Powell is the fucking hottest man alive.
Yeah.
But it's great.
But then when he pulls Adria Arjona's character, Madison, with all the letters exactly where you think they would be, you buy that too because it's Glenn Powell. But it's gone. One of my favorite movies of the year is gone because Hundreds of Beavers moves on. Our final one in this play-in bracket.
Quickest 16 minutes of my life.
Greg likes to talk, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I think that I don't know where to go here. So I'm going to do Mike versus Greg. Who wants to go first?
Me, and I'll be real quick.
Dune 2.
Dune 2 is so much fun. Dune Chapter 2, you get to see Zendaya and Chalamet like the growing together, and the epic music, epic action scenes. I thought it was even more engrossing in a lot of ways than the first one.
There was
Like-
lots of worms.
Worms.
Worms,
Lots
right?
of sand.
Got worms.
One, is it the best sandworm movie of the year?
Yes, definitely. It beats Beetlejuice. I don't like to say it twice because it's scary.
Beet juice. Mike, it's going up against The Substance.
Oh, that's crazy. Come on. The Substance. Listen to the horror show of us wax poetic about The Substance. A late career defining role from Demi Moore, and just like beautiful, gross, disgusting body horror. Just so much. What I'm trying to say, just like flashing in your eyes, just makes it erratic. Just a fever dream of a horror movie, while it's so in love with the history of horror. It's pretty to look at.
At moments, yeah.
Oh, and also
All right, Mike,
yeah, at moments it stab your eyes out to look at. I was thinking of like
amount of
the
needles
set
that go
design
into
a lot,
holes.
not the fucking
Right.
spine sewing.
Ooh.
Mike, The Substance or Dune
The
2?
Substance, fuck Dune.
Caitlin?
Give me them worms.
That's grosser than anything in The Substance. Greg?
This is very hard for me to say, but I'm going to say Substance.
Cassie?
Substance.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my God, my worms.
My worms, my beautiful
Oh, my worms.
That we now have our tight 16, our sweet 16. We're going to take what I would like to call a 16-minute break, and when we come back, the battle begins. Guys, that was so much fun, and I think you could tell that by how much I'm sweating. I got to take a shower. We have to take individual showers.
Podcast shower time. Everybody into the showers.
Individual showers, Greg. And let's clean
Cram
up.
in there, Nickel Boys style.
Why not quarter boy style? Wouldn't that be 5 times better? No, we have to wrap this up, guys. Shut the fuck up.
What are you doing? Let's just fucking start getting showers.
We have our Sweet 16. We are going to take just the quickest of 6.5 day breaks. And when we come back next week, our final episode of Best of the Year 2024 with the #1 movie of the year. Keep watching that movie.
keep watching those movies.